You spent your whole life giving, didn't you? Raising children, holding the family together, helping everyone else build their lives. And somewhere along the way, maybe you started to believe a quiet promise that society, culture, and maybe even your own heart whispered to you, "When I'm older, my family will be there for me." But now, you're over 60. And that promise? It doesn't always hold true. Maybe your children live in another city or country. Maybe they're struggling themselves. Maybe they don't call as often. Maybe they mean well, but life just got in the way, and the silence feels louder than it should. Today I want to talk about something few people dare to say out loud. The emotional, financial, and personal dangers of over-relying on family after 60, and how you can gently, powerfully reclaim your life on your terms. Because freedom in your later years isn't just about age, it's about ownership of your days. So stay with me, because the next few minutes could give you something no one else has: peace, clarity, and most of all, power. Part 1. The expectation that hurts us. When you were younger, the roles were clear. You took care of your children, and in return, one day they would take care of you. That idea, woven into stories, culture, religion, even government policy, has been passed down for generations. But today, families are more spread out than ever. Cost of living is higher than ever, and adult children are juggling their own lives, careers, kids, and emotional loads. And so, quietly, unintentionally, seniors get left behind, not because they're unloved, but because the system has changed. Let me tell you about Maria, 69, a retired librarian from Phoenix. When her husband passed, she expected to move in with her daughter and help raise her grandkids. She imagined a shared home, laughter, dinner together, her role continuing as mom and grandma. But when she brought it up, her daughter hesitated. Her home was small, her work hours long. The kids were in after-school programs. She didn't say no, but she didn't say yes either. Maria ended up living alone in the same house she'd shared with her late husband, and every evening, she'd sit at the kitchen table, checking her phone, hoping for a call, a text, an invitation. And more nights than not, nothing came. Not out of malice, but out of momentum. Life moved on, and Maria was not part of the new schedule. Part 2. The emotional toll of silent expectations. There's a particular kind of loneliness that comes from waiting for people who used to need you. It's not just being alone, it's being forgotten. The expectation that family should call, should visit, should show up, creates pain when they don't. We feel rejected. Even if no one rejected us, we replay moments. I was there for them when they were sick. I paid for their college. I changed every diaper, stayed up all night. How can they not remember? But here's the quiet truth. Family love and availability are not always the same thing. Your children may love you deeply and still not be available the way you imagined. And that gap, that space between expectation and reality, it causes suffering. Let me tell you about Mr. Ravi, a retired painter from India who moved to the US to live with his son after his wife passed away. At first, it seemed like the perfect arrangement. But soon, his son's work consumed his days. His daughter-in-law was kind but distant. The grandchildren were polite, but busy with their own lives. Ravi found himself alone most days, eating meals in silence, feeling like a guest in a house that should have felt like home. He stopped painting, stopped smiling. One evening, he called his old friend back in Delhi and confessed, "I feel more alone in this full house than I ever did living alone." Part 3. Financial dependency, the hidden trap. There's an old saying, when money enters a relationship, love quietly walks out the door. While that's not always true, there's no doubt that financial dependence can create tension, especially between generations. After 60, many seniors retire with the hope that their children will help when needed. But what happens when a little help becomes monthly rent, grocery money, or covering medical bills? It's a slippery slope. And it doesn't just hurt your wallet, it affects your self-worth. Let me tell you about Linda, 72, a retired secretary who sold her condo and moved in with her son's family to reduce expenses. At first, it made sense. She paid a portion of utilities and offered to help with the grandkids. But over time, her son lost his job. Her daughter-in-law began hinting that Linda should cover more costs. Groceries, school supplies, even a new mattress for the kids. Linda dipped into her savings, quietly, without complaint, until one day she realized she had less than 6 months of money left and no backup plan. What was once a shared home had become a place of unspoken resentment and financial pressure. She felt like a burden. Her son felt guilty, and the love between them became strained. Why this happens? Seniors often underestimate how long retirement will last. Medical costs are unpredictable and rising. Adult children are already stretched thin, caring for their own families, paying off debt, trying to keep up. Depending on family for money can feel safe until it's not. And when that relationship breaks, it breaks something inside you too. Part 4. It's not their fault either. Now, let's take a pause, because this isn't about blaming your kids. In fact, blame is the one thing that keeps us stuck. Your children didn't grow up in your world. They weren't trained to care for elders like your parents might have been. They live in a different economic and cultural time. They may love you deeply, but they don't always know how to show it in the way you need. Let's talk about Helen, 66, a former school principal. She raised 3 kids as a single mom. She expected that when the time came, she could move in with one of them and they'd be grateful for all she had done. But when the day came, her daughter said gently, "Mom, I love you, but I'm overwhelmed. I don't think I can give you what you need and still take care of myself." Helen was crushed, but a year later, after therapy and reflection, she shared this: "They don't owe me anything. I gave because I wanted to. And now it's time I give to myself." Part 5. What you can control. The 5 new anchors of freedom. So what do you do when family can't provide the support you expected? You build your own foundation, your own 5 pillars, not out of resentment, but out of freedom. Let's talk about these new anchors that let you thrive, with or without family. 1. Self-sufficiency mindset. This is the most powerful shift you can make. Not "I need help, but I can find a way." It's not about isolation. It's about personal power. Start small. Learn to budget better. Downsize your home to reduce costs. Learn tech skills so you're not dependent on others for communication. You're not helpless. You've raised a family, managed careers, survived heartbreak. You are more capable than you remember. 2. Community is the new family. You can build a family, even if it's not by blood. Community centers, clubs, faith groups, walking circles, online forums. These spaces are where belonging happens. Look at Frank, a 74-year-old widower in Florida. After his daughter moved overseas, he joined a community garden group. 2 years later, those strangers are now his family. They celebrate birthdays, go on hikes, and support each other through doctor's visits. 3. Financial freedom, one choice at a time. You don't need $1 million to be financially free. You just need clarity and control. Learn how to live below your means, where you can earn small income. Consulting, crafts, tutoring, online work. What benefits or resources you're entitled to. Seniors housing, medical aid, food subsidies. You are not too old to take back your finances. 4. Leave a legacy with purpose, not pressure. When you're needed for your talents, not your money or guilt. You rediscover joy, volunteer, mentor, create. Peter, a 68-year-old former mechanic, teaches neighborhood teens how to fix bikes. Every week he sees their eyes light up, and knows he's still needed in the best way. 5. Make your body and mind your first home. Invest in you. Every walk, every healthy meal, every laugh, every book. They're bricks in the foundation of your independence. Health isn't just about medicine. It's about ownership of your choices. Don't wait for someone else to say, "Let's go outside," or "Eat well." Be your own motivator. Be your own cheerleader. Part 6. Real-life turnarounds. From dependence to power. Sometimes, the most powerful stories come from those who hit a breaking point and then built something beautiful from it. Let's close with 3 stories of seniors who stopped waiting for support and started living on their terms. Story 1. From waiting for a call to becoming the caller. Martha, 70, used to wait by the phone every Sunday. Her son lived just 2 hours away, but work and life kept him busy. The weekly calls grew farther apart. She felt forgotten, invisible. Then, one day, she realized something heartbreaking. I'd spent so much time waiting to be invited. I forgot I could make my own plans. So Martha started small. She joined a virtual book club. She signed up for watercolor classes at the community center. She made the first move, inviting others out for coffee, movie nights, even potlucks. 1 year later, her calendar was full. Her son still called, but she no longer built her life around it. Story 2. The man who rebuilt his future in a tiny home. George, 75, had lived with his daughter's family for 3 years. But it was tense. He felt in the way. She felt responsible. No one was happy. One night, George decided to take a bold step. He used his small pension and some savings to buy a used tiny home in a seniors co-op village 2 towns away. It was just 1 bedroom. Simple, quiet, but it was his. He planted a garden, started a weekend chess club, even hosted outdoor movie nights for neighbors. His daughter visited often, but this time they talked as equals, not out of guilt, but out of joy. Story 3. Finding purpose after being left behind. Lillian, 68, was devastated when her daughter moved overseas and decided not to bring her grandchildren back for visits anymore. For weeks, Lillian cried. She felt abandoned. Her reason for getting up in the morning, gone. Until one morning, she walked past the neighborhood school and saw a volunteer reading assistant sign. She signed up. Now, every Tuesday and Thursday, she reads to 2nd graders who call her Grandma Lily. Her laughter returned. Her spark returned. And so did her dignity. Conclusion: you're not alone, but you are responsible for you. Let's bring it all home. After 60, life can feel unsteady. People leave. Roles change. The support we expected sometimes never arrives. But that does not mean your best years are behind you. In fact, they may just be beginning. When you stop waiting for family to carry you, you start discovering just how strong you are. When you build your life on your own terms, with purpose, community, health, and self-respect, you become the anchor you were looking for. If this video spoke to you, don't just watch and scroll. Leave a comment below. Tell me, what's one way you've learned to stand strong on your own after 60? Let's make this channel a place where we lift each other up. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Because here at Joyful Wellness Life, we believe aging isn't about fading away. It's about rising into who you were always meant to be.